everyone, and welcome back to another community nutrition cooking class. My name is Brandon, and today we are making hearty breakfast burritos and fruit and yogurt parfaits. So in today's cooking lesson, we are going to be talking primarily about using herbs and spices in your cooking. Herbs and spices are a great way to take a meal from mediocre to delicious. Using herbs and spices is really the key to making good meals at home that your entire family is going to love. It starts with understanding how herbs and spices work together so that you can make delicious meals. If you turn to page 51 in your Cooking Matters book, you will find a handout called the Cooking Matters Pantry. When you look at how to stock your pantry with herbs and spices, this is a great resource to have. Do not be overwhelmed by the amount of items on this list, especially if your pantry is not stocked. Just start with a couple items, maybe 2 or 3 herbs. The next time you go to the grocery store, go ahead and pick them up. And these things will slowly accumulate in your pantry, and before you know it, you'll have everything that you need on a daily basis to be cooking healthy, delicious meals at home. Another great resource in your Cooking Matters book is page 52 in the book, called Stocking Your Pantry, and it does a great job of condensing that big list on page 51 to very specific items that you want to keep in your pantry, and then how you would use them in your weekly meal planning and when you're preparing meals for your family. So be sure to look at page 52 as well before you make your shopping trip to the store for these stock items. Okay, so the next 3 pages we're going to look at in our Cooking Matters book is page 34, 35, and 36. Page 34 reviews just some basics on how to store herbs, how to use herbs to cut down costs, and also how to use herbs to eliminate salt and sodium in our food. Page 35 talks about common substitutions for herbs and spices. If you don't have cilantro, you can substitute it with parsley. If you don't have thyme, you can substitute it with basil, marjoram, or oregano. This is going to be a great resource, especially as you're building your pantry of herbs and spices, and maybe you don't have everything on hand. This page is going to really allow you to use what you have and use it wisely. So I love page 36 because it gives you some very straightforward herb and spice blend examples. So as you'll see, there's an Italian seasoning blend, there's a pumpkin pie spice blend, taco seasoning blend, and jerk seasoning blend. Whenever you're making food, reference this page to make the blend for whatever dish you're using. This page is also a great resource for where do these herbs come from what parts of the world do they originate from, so you can learn a little bit more about why certain herbs go together. It's typically based on the region from which they come and in the style of food that they are used in. Take a few minutes to review page 34, 35, and 36 before we start going over today's ingredients. The health benefits of herbs are good to know. As you begin to cook with them, it will help you better understand what you're using in your cooking. Our ingredients today for our hearty egg burrito are black beans, eggs, cheddar cheese, whole wheat tortillas, 1 onion, a green pepper, a bulb of garlic, canola oil, black pepper, and cumin. For our yogurt parfaits, we're going to be using yogurt, frozen strawberries, banana, and of course, a bag of granola. So when we plug our ingredients into the MyPlate curriculum, we see that we're actually going to be using all 5 of the MyPlate categories today. We have our fruit from the yogurt parfait, we have our vegetables from the hearty breakfast burrito, we have protein from the beans in our burrito, we have grains in our whole wheat tortillas, and we have dairy in our yogurt in the yogurt parfait. Here, I want to talk a little bit about thawing and freezing meals. A great way to save time and money in the kitchen is to make large batches and freeze for future meals.
This can be ingredients or full meals such as soups. You can also buy large quantities of items that can be frozen when they are on sale. A good example of this is onions, carrots, celery. If you chop all this stuff up, freeze it, you can then have it ready for soups later on. Review page 37 of your book for proper thawing and freezing instructions. Food should be thawed either in the fridge, in cold water, or in the microwave. This ensures safe thawing and ensures that a food is not sitting at a lukewarm temperature for too long. A lukewarm temperature is anywhere between 40 and 60 degrees and is the prime time for bacteria to really begin to grow in foods. You should not thaw foods at room temperature or on the counter. The exterior packaging will thaw first and actually sit at the proper temperature to harbor unsafe bacteria, potentially for hours before the center of the food is completely thawed out. See the chart at the bottom of page 37 for storage life of common refrigerated items. Once you have finished that up, we can begin preparing our meal. And before we get chopping on all of our vegetables, I first want to show you guys how to do a clove of garlic. So peeling a clove of garlic can be a pain in the butt. So I'm going to show you a simple way to do that, and then we're just going to mince this up, cut it into really tiny pieces. We'll finish chopping the rest of our vegetables, and then we'll move forward from there. So what you do when you're doing garlic is find a flat edge, and I usually use the knife, and I will take it and just crush the garlic down like that. When you crush it, it makes it real easy for that paper to just kind of fold off of there, just like that. And then from there, you chop off that little bottom where the roots grow out, and then you can just mince it up. Now that our vegetables are chopped, we're going to drain and rinse our beans in this little colander. Okay, so we have our vegetables chopped and we have our beans drained. Next, we're going to put them on the stove. So I have our medium skillet here. We're going to put a little bit of canola oil in here, dump in our beans, dump in our veggies, and let this cook for about 10 minutes. Okay, we're about 3 minutes in, and we're going to go ahead and add 3/4 of a teaspoon of cumin and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. All I did was measured it out and put it in this little measuring cup here so that I could dump it in. So go ahead and add that to your skillet mixture now. Now while this is finishing up, we're going to go ahead and prepare our egg mixture. And once it's all ready, we'll add it together, cook down the eggs, and finish up our burritos. While our veggies are cooking, we're going to go ahead and prepare our egg mixture. The recipe calls for 4 eggs and a little bit of cumin. So all we're going to do is crack our eggs and put them in this bowl and mix everything together with our whisk. Be sure to try not to get any Okay, so our vegetable bean mixture is finished up. I went ahead and just put it in this bowl here. Now we're going to add to our clean skillet here, we're going to add our egg mixture. I like my eggs a little bit more scrambled, so I'm actually going to really mix them up here so that they turn into scrambled eggs. This will just take a few minutes here. We'll finish up the eggs and then put our burrito together. Great job, everyone, on completing today's recipe.
For our final recipe today, we're going to put together our yogurt parfaits. What I'm starting with is a little half-pint jar. You can use any size jar or bowl that you'd like, depending on how big you want your parfait to be. All we're going to do is fill up the first quarter of the jar with yogurt. We're going to top that with a little bit of the fruit and granola, and then we're going to do a little more yogurt, a little bit more fruit and granola. This is a great framework recipe. The fruits, the granola, the yogurt can all be substituted out with different flavors, whatever your taste preferences are. So parfaits are a great, easy snack that can be made custom to whoever or for whatever event you're serving them.
Great job, everyone, on completing today's recipe. Before we go, we want to talk a little bit about today's engagement activity. So we talked a lot about herbs and spices, using them in our cooking, having them ready in our pantry, how they can help create healthy, delicious meals at home. So for your homework this week, I'd like for you to choose one herb or spice that you enjoy cooking with and do a little bit of research on the health benefits of that particular herb or spice. And in the Facebook group, post 3 health benefits of the herb or spice that you choose. Thank you for participating today, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Happy cooking.